high school basketball prospect Mikey Williams, who signed a deal with Excel that is expected to generate millions for the student athlete.
God, I'm stuck in a tough position, so I wasn't gonna get myself out of that. Neither was my lawyers or anybody else. It was really God. I just had to stay down because it didn't really hit me at first. You feel me? It hit me like a little minute into my little situation. It hit me, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when God really like tapping on my shoulder. Like, you feel me? Like, man. So it definitely affected me. Like, now it's like, I don't take this for granted. Days be frustrating, bro. Like, for sure. Even when people have whatever they had to say about me right now, like, I don't care.
Mikey Williams had endorsement deals and millions of followers before he even graduated from high school, demonstrating his destiny as an NBA legend. But one night, everything was different.
God, I'm stuck in a tough position, so I wasn't gonna get myself out of that. Neither was my lawyers or anybody else.
9 criminal counts are involved. It is conceivable to spend decades behind bars. His dreams of playing basketball were shattered overnight. But how did America's most promising high school student fall apart so fast? Let us analyze it. The terrible drop and the amazing ascent. Mikey Williams' rise to fame and subsequent fall from grace is one of the most well-known stories in modern basketball. Williams' basketball career started early since his family encouraged and required athletic prowess. His father, Mikey Williams, had been a standout basketball player at Sweetwater High School, and his mother, Cherise, was a superb catcher and outfielder in NCAA softball at Hampton University. This genetic combination of athletic prowess and an unwavering focus on discipline and drive created the perfect environment for the basketball phenomenon to flourish.
I got into basketball I probably started playing when I was like 4. My pops was a coach, so I was already around basketball and stuff all the time.
Williams had played basketball since he was 4 years old, but it was not until middle school that the sport truly took off. His viral dunk video from 7th grade, which quickly made him look like a young LeBron James, brought him international exposure and sparked a social media following that eventually grew to over 3 million followers on Instagram alone.
I wasn't. I was young. I was probably in like 7th grade, 8th grade, so all I knew was basketball. Like, business didn't really exist to me yet, you feel me? So it all just happened really fast.
It was no accident that Williams became a household name. Their father carefully designed it after seeing that their son's skills could transcend traditional basketball routes. At the age of 13, Williams signed a landmark NIL deal with streetball gear brand AND1, making him the youngest sports endorsement in history. This purported 6-figure contract illustrates how the landscape is evolving and how social media influencers can now profit from their fame before even completing their high school education.
Really, my pops was like the mind behind that. I ain't really know, a lot of stuff I was doing, I didn't know why I was doing it, but I was just doing it. He just tell me like it's gonna make sense.
When Williams arrived at San Ysidro High School in 2019, the statistical devastation he would create was beyond even the most hopeful forecasts. He helped San Ysidro win the CIF San Diego Section Division III championship as a freshman, averaging 29.9 points, 6.7 rebounds, 4.9 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. But it was a single effort that would leave his name etched in the history books of high school basketball in California on ESPN. On December 13th, 2019, Williams scored an amazing 77 points, including 9 three-pointers, in a 116-52 victory over Montgomery High School. Honors poured in like a torrential deluge, including Max Prep's National Freshman of the Year, CIF San Diego Section Player of the Year, and a spot on the All-State First Team. Recruiting agencies regarded him as the best talent in the 2023 class, and he was receiving offers from prestigious universities like Duke, Kansas, and North Carolina. But Williams' ascent was more than just his basketball stats. When sports media business over time created a YouTube reality series detailing his life, his already enormously high visibility was further increased, transforming his social media presence into a masterwork of modern athlete branding. The teenager, who used to feel uncomfortable in front of cameras, had transformed into a content creation machine who knew how to harness his athleticism to produce content that was relevant to his culture.
Like, that's sophomore year?
That was my freshman year.
Freshman year? Okay, freshman year.
Yeah.
To be that young with that many followers, like, was it hard for you?
Yeah, because I didn't know what to do.
During the dawn of the NIL period, Williams was well positioned to profit from the significant transformation in amateur sports. At the age of 17, he signed a multi-year endorsement deal with Puma in October 2021, making his debut with the brand's apparel and footwear, making him one of the first high school athletes to do so. His estimated NIL valuation was $3.6 million due to his NFT collections, NBA 2K22 commercial appearances, and partnerships with businesses like Lace Clips and Cash App. Celebrity third-party endorsements came after the funding. LeBron James liked his style of play. Kevin Durant called him a must-watch, and Drake featured him in music videos and social media posts. After initially becoming famous for his YouTube dunks, the 7th-grade kid found himself surrounded by the entertainment elite and living a life that most professional athletes could only dream of. The college recruitment process changed from a competition to a coronation. Williams consented to play for Memphis under Penny Hardaway in November 2022. The demands and temptations associated with premature celebrity. However, as it continued its seemingly inexorable ascent, it began to have a disastrous effect on Williams' star. The teenager, who was a social media pro and a standout basketball player in high school, was about to discover that success, built on such precarious grounds, may collapse with catastrophic rapidity. Instead of on the basketball court, the first cracks in the facade appeared during the intermissions between games when neither the cameras nor the fans were cheering. Williams subsequently admitted that he had made some blunders as a young man, and that there had been certain situations that might not have gone as planned before the significant incident.
I don't think it's the situation that happened. I think it was situations that I've been in before that could have been like, you know, not so good. Because what happened is just like, God sat me down, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was never convicted of doing anything.
Those who were willing to look might notice the warning signs. Scout reports pointing to pre-arrest warning signs, like uneven effort and entourage influences, imply that the shooting incident would not be an isolated incident, but rather a harbinger of larger problems. After then, Mikey Williams' life would be permanently split into before and after on March 27, 2023. What should have been a peaceful Tuesday night at his $1.2 million home in Jamul, east of San Diego, turned into a nightmare that would ruin one of basketball's most promising careers and serve as a sobering reminder of how easily fame can turn into controversy. An altercation broke out with a group of unexpected guests who had arrived at Williams' house at around midnight. Tensions reportedly increased quickly, and shots were fired as the party tried to depart in a Tesla Model 3 carrying 5 people, hitting the car several times, yet amazingly, no one was hurt. The adolescent apparently lost control in the most dramatic and significant way imaginable after spending years fostering an image of social media savvy and controlled athleticism. From basketball prodigy to cautioner, the incident would signal the start of a legal adventure that would take up the next year and a half of his life. The response from the basketball community was a mix of surprise, disappointment, and incredulity, as fans struggled to deal with the loss of someone they had watched grow up in the spotlight. Social media erupted with posts from prominent publications like Bleacher Report, receiving over 32,000 likes. Critics dubbed it the Ja Morant effect, and expressed concern about a trend of off-court issues for young black basketball players, comparing it to NBA star Ja Morant's gun-related suspension. A neutral statement was released by Memphis coach Penny Hardaway, who had actively recruited Williams. Although Williams entered a not guilty plea to the original charges, the prosecution was still working on their case. At a preliminary hearing in October 2023 that would be crucial to his future, more information surfaced that would only put him in even greater legal danger. After Judge Sherry M. Thompson-Taylor decided that there was enough evidence to go to trial, prosecutors took advantage of the situation to file 3 additional felony charges, increasing the total to 9. Williams could face more than 30 years in jail if found guilty on all counts of the new charges, which also included additional counts of making criminal threats and grand theft auto related to the event.
But they say they didn't see Williams firing a gun. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department says people were arguing about guests inside the house where Williams lived. No one was hurt in the shooting. Williams is out of custody on $50,000 bail.
In addition to Williams, his family and support network also started to feel the strain of the court processes. He would subsequently talk about the bizarre experience of witnessing attorneys discuss his future in courtrooms while feeling helpless to change the outcome in interviews.
I feel like the people around me were more like scared. Like my pops would call me and he'll be, you feel me, stressing whoop to whoop because he done been through it, you feel me? He didn't had to go through the same thing, and it's like he don't want you, like obviously he don't want me to go through it.
At the same time, the business repercussions of his legal issues started to pile up mercilessly. Citing the ongoing legal troubles as justification for contract termination, Puma, which had signed Williams to that historic multi-year footwear and clothing sponsorship deal, broke off relations with the troubled athlete. In May 2023, sports technology startup Lace Clips did the same, with CEO Jonathan Nussbaum adamantly declaring that Williams will not be associated with the company's brand. The situation at Memphis became more and more intolerable. Following his arrest, Williams was barred from all team activities for an undetermined period of time. Consequently, he was unable to play any significant minutes of collegiate basketball during his freshman season and was forced to redshirt. The athletic department kept a careful distance from its once coveted recruit, keeping in mind the university's reputation and NCAA compliance standards.
Like at first, it was like I was in the gym, I was in the gym every day. And then once I started going through what I was going through, like at Memphis, like the AD was tripping on me. He wouldn't let me in. I went back home and I was like, man, it was about August or something. I just went back to the crib and I started like going to the gym maybe twice a week, because that wasn't the main thing on my mind. It just one day it hit.
Perhaps the most challenging part of Williams's experience was the loneliness. The adolescent who had flourished on the excitement of crowded gyms and the approval of social media interaction was now isolated from the very pursuits that had made him who he was. His love and his route to success, basketball, turned into a sobering reminder of all he stood to lose. His increasingly infrequent public appearances and social media posts revealed the psychological toll. Williams later acknowledged that the stress of the legal situation and the public scrutiny had caused him to repeatedly disable his Instagram account for months at a time. The self-assured kid who had once attracted millions of admirers suddenly found it difficult to handle even the most fundamental facets of public life.
Would have, but actually Kennedy, you told us not to deactivate our Instagrams, all that, yeah. Because I don't be liking to be on there for real.
You be deactivating yours?
Yeah, I didn't deactivate them a few times for like months.
Few athletes ever find themselves in a state of professional limbo like Williams as the legal processes continued into the summer and fall of 2023. Though the journey to that point had been paved with excruciating uncertainty and the very real threat that his basketball career may be finished before it had really begun, he was too young to turn pro overseas, prohibited from playing collegiate hoops, and faced the prospect of incarceration. The difficult road for Mikey Williams, the November 30th, 2023 plea hearing marked both the end of his most dangerous legal chapter and the tentative start of regaining a basketball career that had appeared to be lost forever. Williams and the prosecutors came to a plea agreement whereby Williams admitted guilt to one felony count of making criminal threats under California Penal Code Section 422, with the remaining 8 felony gun-related charges being dropped as part of the agreement. Williams was given the option to lower the felony to a misdemeanor at sentencing if he successfully completed the required 80 hours of community service, anger management programs, cognitive behavioral therapy, and gun safety classes.
God, I'm stuck in a tough position, so I wasn't gonna get myself out of that. Neither was my lawyers or anybody else. It was really God. I just had to stay down because it didn't really hit me at first. You feel me? It hit me like a little minute into my little situation. It hit me, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when God really like tapping on my shoulder, like, you feel me?
The plea agreement received a resoundingly supportive response from the basketball world, with many seeing it as a second opportunity for a gifted young man who had committed a grave error. Jam John's 3-1 deficit post, which went viral and had 17,000 likes, was among the many happy messages that flooded social media, portraying Williams' legal resolve as a triumph rather than the conclusion of a nightmare. With characteristic vigor, Williams pushed himself into carrying out the conditions of his plea deal. He not only finished all of the needed programs before the time of his sentencing on August 12, 2024, but he also went above and above the community service requirement by volunteering extensively with youth programs and exhibiting a sincere commitment to personal development. Importantly, the punishment did not involve jail time, but it did contain a 10-year ban on gun ownership, a result that at last made it possible for Williams to start reviving his basketball career. But Williams found himself in a very different scene than the one he had left behind. Williams had accessed the transfer portal from Memphis in January 2024, before his legal resolution was finalized, claiming that the program had not given his return priority because of the lingering legal issues.
I couldn't get into Memphis, so I had to transfer anyways. But I felt like the coach, really, Coach Dawkins, played a big part in that. It's in the Big 12, you feel me? So the conference played a big part in that.
Williams returned to collegiate basketball in March 2024 when he committed to the University of Central Florida, or UCF, but the conditions and expectations were drastically different. Williams was welcomed to a program in the competitive Big 12 Conference by coach Johnny Dawkins, who had placed a strong emphasis on second chances during the recruitment process. Williams got his first taste of collegiate basketball during the 2024-25 season at UCF, but the numbers revealed a humble player trying to regain both his reputation and his skill set. Williams averaged 5.1 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 0.7 assists in 14 minutes per game, while shooting 37.1% from the field in 18 games, 5 of which he started. These figures were small in comparison to his domination in high school, but they were indicative of something much more significant, evidence that his basketball career might go on.
Where for things sure, are like I'm grateful, like like it's stuff like this. Like, I have a game where I play 5 minutes 7 minutes. I know I should be playing more. You feel me? It'd be tough. It'd be challenging. End of the day, though, I'm like, bro, I'm out here playing. Like it'll make you shed a tear. Like, that's the biggest blessing. You feel me?
Just as difficult as the legal and basketball-related challenges were the psychological and emotional aspects of Williams's return. He talked openly in interviews about the humility of transitioning from expected lottery pick to role player and the perseverance needed to salvage a career that had appeared destined for instant NBA glory.
Like, man, so it definitely affected me. Like, now it's like, I don't take this for granted. They'd be frustrating, bro. Like, for sure. Even when people have whatever they have to say about me right now, like, I don't care.
Even though he displayed glimpses of his previous glory, such as season highs of 14 points against Oklahoma State and Iowa State, Williams had trouble staying consistent and adjusting to collegiate competition following a protracted layoff. His attempts to rediscover his basketball rhythm were made more difficult by the fact that he missed 19 games during the season due to injuries. By March 2025, Williams had returned to the transfer site in search of a new beginning and more chances to demonstrate his skills. In April 2025, he committed to Sacramento State, marking yet another phase in his long journey toward redemption. Under the direction of head coach Mike Bibby, a former NBA All-Star and 2008 Olympic gold medalist, and advisor Shaquille O'Neal, president of basketball operations, the Sacramento State program gave Williams something he had not had since his legal issues started: a real chance for growth and redemption in a setting that was more concerned with his basketball future than his tumultuous past.
My goals, man, right now, man, I just want to get to the NBA. You know, I have personal goals aside for that, but the main goal, I just want to get to the NBA, bro. Like, I've worked my whole life for it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like what I've been through kind of fuels me.
In September 2025, Williams found himself at a turning point that would have appeared unthinkable when he was at the top of his high school career. He must demonstrate that a guy who previously appeared destined for NBA fame can still fulfill those aspirations despite choosing a far more devious path as he gets ready for what could be a crucial sophomore season at Sacramento State at the age of 21. The social media phenomenon who dominated high school basketball a few years ago is a far cry from the young man who now shares his hard-won advice about faith, patience, and personal development. His narrative is both inspirational and a warning, a reminder of how easily success can be lost, but also of the potential for redemption if one is prepared to put in the effort to start over.
But whatever it is that you want to do, just keep at it. You're going to get rewarded, you know what I'm saying? But nah, for the most part, I just be happy for him, man.
Williams finds himself in September 2025 at a turning point that, at the height of his high school career, would have seemed unimaginable. As he prepares for what might be a pivotal second season at Sacramento State at the age of 21, he must show that a man who once seemed destined for NBA greatness can still achieve his goals despite choosing a considerably more cunning path. The young man who imparts his hard-won wisdom on faith, patience, and personal growth is a far cry from the social media sensation who dominated high school basketball a few years ago. His story serves as a reminder of how quickly success can be lost, but also of the possibility of redemption if one is willing to put in the work to start anew. It is both uplifting and cautionary,